It's a good story.
We witnessed this random gay couple renewing their vows, and I just like look over and I'm like, Leia, look.
And it was so funny because both of us didn't really ever have communication like, oh, let's go take photos and film for them. Like, that would be so nice. We just kind of naturally were like, whoa, we're here right now. We need to take these photos. Because there was one other girl like in their party that was filming on an iPhone. What's up, dudes? My name is Leia. This is Matt.
Hello.
And you're listening to a podcast where you get to hear our honest conversations on the road as we travel to all 48 continental United States.
And welcome to Getting to Know Us. Go ahead and roll the intro music there.
Roll the intro music. Wow. Okay. For those of you who missed that or are listening to just the podcast, Matthew just put his foot near the camera.
That was the foot I'm also driving with.
Okay, so where are we now on the road and what's happening?
Right now we are on the edge of the state of Mississippi, and we are on our way to Jackson, Mississippi. We just came from New Orleans, Louisiana, NOLA, which was incredibly fun.
Yep, we definitely stayed a long time there. That was the longest that we've ever stayed anywhere.
That was the longest we've stayed somewhere, and right now we're heading to our Airbnb in Mississippi, which was very cheap, but we double-checked to make sure that the location was a safe area and that we were also gonna enjoy our stay, potentially, like where we're going. So I think I'm pretty excited for what we have upcoming, and it's pretty inexpensive, so all good things, hopefully, heading to Mississippi.
Yeah. All right, so recap of New Orleans. Wow, there's a lot.
A lot.
So,
Joe.
Okay, let's back up to the last time we talked. The last time we talked, we didn't know where we were going to stay in New Orleans.
Right, I don't know did we establish at all that we were going to stay with someone?
I'm not sure. So,
well, to recap what happened, we had no idea who we were staying with when we left Austin, Texas to head to New Orleans. And then on the way there,
I was going crazy on Facebook, on my Instagram story, like, who can house us?
And then we realized that we worked with a guy named Shane who goes to Tulane, and we asked him if he knew anyone that maybe could house us or whatever.
And then he recommended that we post on Tulane Classified, which I'm pretty sure is just like a bunch of Tulane alumni or whatever.
It's just a Facebook group.
It's a Facebook group. So I said, okay, so I clicked apply to it. I was accepted. So I posted a picture of Matt and me with the car, and I was like, hey, in search of a couch to sleep on. Is anybody willing to host us for the weekend? We're doing this crazy thing. And it was crazy because we got a lot of engagement actually on that post. A lot of people are super active on that Facebook page, or Facebook group. So we got like some weird responses from people like, I don't know, like tagged like, oh, hey, so-and-so, you want to get chopped up tonight?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it was weird.
Interesting reactions just of people that were probably just jealous, honestly.
They were, I don't know,
but who knows?
There were some people that rudely commented like, no, or whatever.
They commented next.
Oh, next. Yeah, apparently that's a thing. And then we actually had two people, which I never talked to the other girl, actually, I just realized. We had two people reach out to us that were serious contenders to house us.
It was funny, as we were driving there, we're like, ooh, nice, we're doing the interview process now for who we're going to stay with.
Right, because two people were willing to house us. So Joe, who we ended up staying with, commented on there, and he was like, hey, I have a futon and I have a pool, you just got to be cool with Great Danes. So we were messaging him, and we looked at his account.
Did he say you need to be cool with Great Danes?
Yeah, he did. He said you got to be cool with Great Danes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't read his Facebook message.
Yeah, so yeah, we talked to him, we checked out his account. He looks like a normal dude, you know, he rows, he travels a lot. So we're like, oh, this guy gets it.
He's a little bit older.
Yeah, he's a little bit older
than us. AKA he's 27.
So we're like, oh, perfect, you know. I feel like he would get the stage that we're at. So there was another girl who I forget her name, but she was also, I think she was a student. She was willing to house us. Yeah, they just didn't, we chose to go with Joe. So we arrived there late Thursday night or Friday night or whatever it was. And we all fell in love with Joe.
Yeah, all two of us.
All two of us. No,
and his dog Trouble.
And his dog Trouble. So yeah, we stayed with him on the futon. We were complete strangers to him. He opened up his doors to us, and not only was he like the person that allowed us to sleep there, he was like our personal tour guide.
Yeah, thankfully we were there on the weekend actually, so he didn't have to work on Saturday or Sunday while we were there for like the first 2 days. So that was really nice to be able to just like hang out with him. But yeah, he worked out with us one day. He took us to all the good food spots that we could within the time that we were there.
And he would drive us to downtown.
Right, while he was driving us to, he'd be like, oh, and on your left, this building was built in 1812 by so-and-so from Italy. And he had some weird thing happen when he was 39 with his wife that led to this other thing.
Not a real story, but he really knew a lot about the history of New Orleans, which was great because New Orleans is such a historic town.
Yeah, he was a walking historian.
That I felt like it was so cool that we got to stay with a local. He's been living there for about 7 years.
Yeah.
He grew up
in the South, Alabama, Mississippi.
And in Alaska.
And then he lived in Alaska for a year. And he grew up there.
Yeah, and he was a part of the Air Force.
Yeah, he was in the Air Force for 7 years.
So yeah, he's a great guy, super fun, and we just had a lot of fun together.
Which is pretty cool.
So it was a lot of vacation, it felt like.
Yeah, he took us downtown to like all the fun.
Went to Bourbon Street,
and then also a few
Frenchman Street
to a few like really fun bars there, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we did the damn thing. I mean, I
did the damn.
I really wanted to eat beignets and take cool pictures.
Oh, we ate beignets. Baby.
Oh boy, we ate beignets.
If you don't know what a beignet is, you're missing out. First of all,
it's basically I realized what it was like today when I had it again. They are doughy pillows. No, they're snow covered, and snow I mean powdered sugar. Doughy pillows.
Yeah, not cocaine.
But it just like it is just so delicious. And you have to go to Café du Monde. That is which means World Cafe. That is where they are most delicious.
Well, we can't say that because we just ate them there. And we didn't eat them anywhere else.
I've read on reviews as well that that's the place to go. So I'm sold already.
Nah, yeah, I'm with you that they're really good. But we can't say it's the best yet because we didn't try other
Well,
things.
it's the best beignet I've ever had.
It's the only beignet you've ever had.
Actually, I lied. I had a beignet at Disneyland. I just remembered. So no, this is better.
Sure.
Yeah. Any other major highlights from New Orleans? Well, we decided to stay, since we didn't go to Houston, we decided to stay up until today, which is the 9th. So we stayed there for 4 days.
Yeah, originally we were like 3.5, I think. Originally we were gonna stay there, stay in Houston for a couple nights. We ended up not doing that. And I'm glad we didn't stay in Houston because New Orleans was so sick. I would say like notable things that happened, like breakfast the first day, first full day.
Yeah.
That was superb, man. I had a shrimp barbecue toast, and it sounds pretty like what's shrimp barbecue toast? But wow, that shit was good.
And then I had shrimp and grits that is now my wallpaper because it looks, I took the best photo of it and it just looks delectable. But I think we should also talk about like the culture of each state. I feel like, I mean, it's super relevant to New Orleans, but
Yeah, we talked about the culture in each state for the most part. I think we've
Okay.
been trying to talk about it.
okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's really interesting because they have a lot of, New Orleans has a lot of French ties.
And a lot of
So-
history. Like,
Yeah,
it's just-
history.
it's old as fuck, and it's like, you know, it's further, obviously, close to the East Coast than being in the South, and it was a big, obviously, part of the Louisiana Purchase. It was, yeah, a lot of history went down in New Orleans.
A lot of history, a lot of amazing food, a lot of live music everywhere
Yeah.
that you go.
It really livens everything up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of street performers downtown, and the general vibe of everyone that I interacted with. Sometimes you don't get the best service.
Oh wow!
But,
I think that was a freak thing, though.
Right. But everyone was very, very friendly, very nice.
Yeah, we had one experience.
I just remembered something good to say.
One experience at dinner, the second to last night that we were there.
We just had a terrible server.
Yeah, wow, he was on his D game.
Yeah.
He was just, yeah, I'll be. Oh, you didn't get this? I thought so and so was getting that for you. Let me go get that for you. And then he wouldn't come back for 10 minutes.
I know, it was so interesting.
It was very interesting. But the most interesting part about that was that I really felt like the dog, that
Trouble.
Joe's dog, Trouble, that was with us, he literally
Which
got,
is a 4-month-old Great Dane.
yeah, and he got better service than the people that were being served, aka us and Joe. And they brought him water immediately when we sat down. It took us like 15 minutes just to be given water, which is like, it sounds like, oh, we're spoiled, we're complaining about this shit. I am with it that we're getting a lot of good stuff, and we're blessed and such, but in regards to just evaluating them as a business, it was pretty terrible.
Right. Another thing I didn't know about New Orleans is they have an open container law. So
Yeah, that was sick.
You can walk around with a beer, a daiquiri, and whatever the heck you want,
Anything alcoholic.
all over, which I had no idea.
But you can't walk with glass. It has to be in plastic.
Okay, has to be in plastic. But yeah, I've never seen like get a beer to go, like basically a walk-up bar that you just order and take it to go. I thought that was really, really interesting. But yeah.
Oh, and then we saw St. Louis Cathedral, which is the oldest church in the country. So that's pretty cool. The oldest active church in the country.
And it looks like Disneyland.
It does. It looks like the Disneyland Tower. We took photos in front of it, got some cool content in front of it, and then while we were passing by it, the same night that we had the terrible service, we were taking photos there.
Oh, that's a good story.
We witnessed this random gay couple renewing their vows. And I just like look over and I'm like, Leia, look.
And it was so funny because both of us didn't really ever have communication like, oh, let's go take photos and film for them. Like, that would be so nice. We just kind of naturally were like, whoa, we're here right now. We need to take these photos. Because there was one other girl like in their party that was filming on an iPhone, like a
Just
video.
taking iPhone photos.
No, just a video. I don't even think they had anyone taking any photos.
I thought she was doing photos.
No, she just had one camera going and recording the whole thing. And so I was just like, man, like this is such a special moment. I feel like they love to have pictures, you know? So I just started taking pictures. Matt started taking videos. And then, you know, we stuck through the whole ceremony. It was pretty short. And then, of course, we talked to them afterwards because, you know, we kind of just like crossed that barrier of like, oh, I'm an awkward bystander to who just wants to like capture the fact that they're doing it. But I mean, I got up in their grill. I mean, like I really tried to take good pictures of them.
It got to the point where we were like, we felt like we were a part of it. And then, the other people started getting out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. But then we talked to them afterwards, and they were just like, "Oh my gosh, you guys, that was so kind of you." Blah blah blah. So yeah, we're gonna edit the photos and share with them the videos. And yeah, they're from Dallas, Texas. They were really interested to hear about us and what we were doing. And then it was Juan and David, and Juan was talking to me, and he was just like, oh, how are you guys, paying for this trip? And we're like, oh, well, we have a business, but, we are paying for it. And we're working along the way. And he was like, well, I would love to make a donation to you guys. And I was like, wow, okay. Like, I'm not going to say no. Like, that's very kind of you, like, we really, really appreciate it. And he was just like, yeah, you guys, captured something really special for us, and this means a lot. So, I just want to spread the karma. And I was like, dang, okay. I mean, I was expecting absolutely nothing out of it. I just felt like, we were there.
Yeah. I made sure to communicate, like, we super appreciate that, but, like, by no means would you ever have to.
Right,
like,
absolutely.
we would just do this out of the goodness of our hearts.
Yeah.
Because we want to.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was just like oh, wow, we're here right now. Might as well, like,
Yeah,
do
no
this.
one else was.
I like doing stuff like that. I feel like
Right.
that's why you do photography and video, or like filmmaking at all. Really, is to make impacts, at least for
Right.
us. And like that was a great way to make a short, little, quick impact, fun impact.
Right. Yeah, that was super cool. And then, just for example, when I take, I've been trying to practice my street photography of like places that we go to, and I took a photo of a musician that was there. And I could have walked away and not said anything, but I'm like, hey, look at this great photo I just took of you. Like, would you like me to send it to you? Because I'm gonna edit it anyways. It takes an extra 5-10 minutes to introduce myself, and then look, he has a great photo of himself playing in New Orleans. So I think that's a cool way to kind of give back.
To the place we visit.
Yeah, to the place that we visit. I think it's pretty cool.
We're contributing to the culture there. I feel like we're contributing to the culture of everywhere we go, at least a smidgen.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've talked about a lot of good stuff, and what is really hard to portray through this podcast is that Joe really was the MVP of this whole
Absolutely.
stay. He made
If
it
it
so
weren't
much
for
more
Joe-
fun. He made it so much more fun to just hanging out with him and his friends, and when we would go out to breakfast, just having conversations with him and learning more about the culture of New Orleans, because he knows so much about everything there and all the buildings, because he's a project manager, and so he's really into like architecture and the history of it, and like why buildings are the way they are. And so we got to just learn so much that I really wouldn't have expected to learn.
And it was all because we thought of someone we knew, and he responded, and then we posted on Facebook, and someone was willing to take a risk on us. So I mean,
For real.
that's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, so lesson of the podcast is to definitely utilize Facebook to connect with people in local areas. Use Facebook
But
groups.
also FaceTime them first, because
That's what we did, yeah.
I was like, he looks like a great guy. I just want to make sure that like his,
Not getting catfished.
the aura is like what we're receiving. So you can't really fake who you are over a video chat. Like if you're
Right.
creepy or whatever, like I feel like it's just gonna come off of you. So
Totally. So what did we learn as a couple, business people, and as Americans?
okay, so I think that in general, I think that we've been getting a lot better about our fitness.
Are you talking about as a couple right now?
Yeah, I mean as a couple / individual.
Okay.
I think that we've been pretty good about, doing Kevin's workouts. Matt's brother has been writing personal workouts for us. And that really helped start the day. And then,
Strong. Start the day strong, as I'd say on my Instagram story.
yeah. And then I think as a couple, again, patience. And like, I feel like I have a hard time sometimes being overly anxious about work when we're like, New Orleans isn't necessarily the safest place to be, and so I get like extra anxious about like being outside with our nice camera, and like if we're kind of even running like half an hour late on our like rough schedule, I get like I don't know, it's
Very intense.
I get very intense sometimes.
Very intense.
Yeah. So I'm working on trying to be a more pleasant, fun person, because sometimes I get so concerned with something so small that I forget that it's a workcation. It's, play hard. I mean, work hard, play hard.
And in the moments where it feels like maybe you're not working, I was trying to explain this to Leia before too, but for what we do, like interacting with our host even, that's building rapport with the people that we know in New Orleans, and in my book, that's working. Like
absolutely,
let me finish, please.
Sorry.
We also talked about that Leia tends to interrupt me when we're talking on the podcast.
I'm sorry, I get excited.
Yeah. And anyways, so anything we do where when we're in another state, we're networking, we're just eating a meal with them, or like with people, or just chatting, or just walking to the next location, like you're being productive and you're working, quote unquote, because work can be fun too, So I think it's important that recognizing and giving ourselves credit that like a little bit of everything is work, and work doesn't always have to feel like work to be productive.
Yeah, I think so. Building your skills and building your relationships.
Super important. Just by adding an extra little 5 minutes to even say goodbye to Joe's roommate, Ripple, and being like, hey man, it was so nice to meet you, thanks for hooking it up with the weed, and have a good rest of your life and good luck with your PhD, bro, so. Another topic I thought that we should start talking about is cannabis in each state. Part of like our road trip and what we're doing is making a documentary called The State of Cannabis, which is a docuseries about people in different regions around the United States and how the legalization of cannabis is impacting them and their lives. Kind of what their experience in the industry has been. And so along with that, we consume cannabis, and in each state where it's legal, or maybe not even completely legal, but if it's medically legal, if we can somehow partake in the cannabis culture while we are there, like that is a big goal of mine, because I want to be building my network and rapport with people in the industry all over the country, not just in California. So while we were there, actually, we asked Joe if he knew anyone that could help, find cannabis for us, and we ended up finding a connect.
And to clarify, is it legal in Louisiana? Is it legal in New Orleans?
So in Louisiana, it's very, very illegal, actually.
But are you allowed to smoke it?
You're not allowed to like smoke it necessarily in the open, but like people do, and like I was talking to people that like there's no problem if you were to like be smoking it, like you could smoke it in the open, you wouldn't like get fucked,
That's really interesting.
In New Orleans.
I really
Only
don't,
in New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
But not in the whole state of Louisiana. So anyways, we were able to pick up some kush. We left it behind actually as a gift for others to say thank you for hooking it up. But we got to partake a little bit in the cannabis industry there, and we actually got to partake with Joe. So it's Joe Dirt, essentially, right? Is his Instagram name. So, but Joe consumed with us, and when I was talking to him when we initially got there, he was telling us all about his experience with it. So that's something that I'm going to talk about actually probably on one of my other podcasts. It was basically like a smoking with strangers episode where we get to smoke with strangers. You kind of make like a little fun short podcast out of it about what it's like to consume with random people across the US. But that was, I didn't film it because I didn't want Joe to feel uncomfortable. But he went through a portion of time where he had psychosis actually, because he was...
Are you allowed to talk about this?
Yeah. He told me I could. He said, just call me Joe Dirt.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Joe had psychosis at a point, and he's totally chilling now, but it was very interesting to talk about how that impacted him and his mental well-being overall. But yeah, that's that. Cannabis in all the states. starting in New Orleans. We did in other states too, but we didn't talk about it before. But now we're talking about it
Cool.
because cannabis is part of it.
Totally. Okay, so as a couple, as individuals, as Americans.
So as a couple, you know, same old song and dance, patience, both with yourself and as a couple.
Yeah, try not to get mad at yourself for stupid stuff that you just can't help. Like, oh, crap, we went the wrong way on accident, or oh no, I forgot my shoes in the car.
Right.
When I already walked halfway down this way.
Right.
So trying to laugh at stupid stuff that we just forget or miss.
Totally. As business people, I feel like knowing when and when not to be on vacation. I feel like this was definitely on vacation, and Mississippi is going to be more of a work stop.
Right.
So I think still finding a happy medium. It was hard because I feel like we became good friends with Joe, and so we probably didn't work as much as we would have.
Yeah.
Just because Joe was down to hang out, and he was fun. But yeah, probably balancing our time a little bit better actually with work and play when we are on like vacation mode because we like the spot. Being able to be like, okay, let's put it away.
Yeah.
Fun mode for a little bit longer, or like maybe twice during the day instead of just once. Yeah, and for longer than just a few hours.
Yeah.
But again, it is productive to go out and be social and be actually experiencing the culture in the city, because that's like why we're doing it. So you're not going to learn about it if we don't go out and enjoy it.
Right. And New Orleans was definitely my favorite place so far. New Orleans was my favorite place so far. You were even talking about potentially living there one day. I have no idea. Not for like settling there or anything, but
Well, like maybe live there for a year or something.
yeah, maybe a year or two, just kind of have fun in a new area, try something new.
It's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick. So we'll definitely be back though.
Yeah, I'll definitely see Joe again. And Trouble.
In trouble.
Trouble. Such a cute dog.
Cool. And then let's see.
What did we learn as Americans? I feel like we did the visual postcard with Joe about what it means to be American, and his opinion is definitely a lot different than ours.
Right.
At least his response.
I don't know. I was kind of surprised by his response. I don't know. I don't think it's. We asked Joe to be a part of the visual postcard, basically asking him what it means to be American, and I think he had an interesting response that was definitely different than other people. I mean, he had a really hard time answering it, which I think a lot of people do have a hard time answering it. But he was saying that Americans aren't necessarily that special. You know, that we're just kind of like any other country, that we believe that we have this uniqueness when we don't. Like, we have a lot of similarities with other countries, and there's not like this crazy, like, we're not superior in any way, we're not like worse in any way, we're just like another country, which I don't really completely agree with.
Yeah, I think there's
truth to what you're saying.
There's truth to bits and to pieces of what everyone may say about it, you know.
Right.
Because I think what I was saying in response when we were chatting about it after is that, like, well, it's really up to each individual on like what it means to be American, because your experience is going to be so much different.
Right.
And honestly, to the point of what Joe's making, that's the same in a lot of countries actually, probably. Like, growing up in a slightly different neighborhood is going to change the way you grow up.
Right.
And Leia picks at her fingers, by the way, which is why I slapped her hand. So.
No comment.
I'm just keeping you accountable, baby.
Okay, I think we talked about it.
Basically, being American is, it's individual, really. You have the freedom to be like your individual, and your experience can be shaped by you. That was kind of what we were talking about.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So Mississippi. What to expect here? We're staying at a cool Airbnb. Hopefully, get more
MISSISSIBBI.
more cool lifestyle photos here.
Yeah, we'll work. We're gonna get some good editing done here. I'm gonna get editing
Tomorrow's
this
probably gonna be
podcast.
like a straight editing day. Like we might go do something fun in the morning or go out to eat, but
Yeah.
I think it's time we hunker down and do some work.
Yeah, lock it down in the Mississippi.
So to recap, we've been in how many states now?
This is our 7th state.
This is our 7th state in 13 days.
Yeah, today's day 13, and then we're heading to either Missouri or Arkansas after this.
Yeah, so
My birthday!
yeah. I think the energy is still pretty high. We're excited to see new places.
Yeah, we have we have verified states for the most part in Arkansas and Missouri. Missouri we have to call, but it's my cousin, so it should work out, I think.
And yeah, I feel pretty good about where we're going. I mean, I think that we really got to start planning after North Carolina, but that'll come in the next 2 days.
Yeah, no, we will plan for North Carolina before North Carolina, or plan for after it before that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Well,
thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this
Thanks for
latest
listening.
episode. Oh yeah, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting to Know Us.
and if you'd like to follow us on our adventure, please follow on Instagram.
Yeah, if you want to follow us further on our adventures, follow us on social media.
Living as Leia, at Matt Meredith, at Unreal Stories, at Codmouth Media if you're into cannabis. And that's UNREAL